October 15th, 1974. Muhammad. Ali was talking to Johnny Carson about his upcoming Rumble in the Jungle fight when all of a sudden he stopped talking about fighting and began talking about something much more important. The next thing that happened was one of the most honest TV talks about race ever shown. The studio was packed with people who were excited to be a part of The Tonight Show that Tuesday night. Muhammad Ali, who was 32 years old and getting ready for his famous fight against George Foreman in Zimbabwe, had just come onto the stage to a roar of cheers. Ali was at the top of his fame and trouble. Many people love them, some people attack them, but no one can ignore them. Ali had been on Johnny Carson's show more than once, and the way they talked was always fun to watch. Ali would read his famous songs, guess who would win fights, and joke around with Johnny in a way that made for great TV. Tonight, everyone thought things would stay the same. Ali was pushing the Rumble in the Jungle by talking about how he would beat Foreman. His confidence and charm made people laugh. But things would be different tonight. Muhammad Ali did something tonight that he had not planned at all, but it turned a boxing match into one of the most powerful talks about race, identity, and purpose that has ever been shown on American TV. The interview went off without a hitch. Ali walked in with his normal cockiness, shadowboxing, and saying he was the best before he even sat down. The crowd loved it and laughed the whole time, clapping for his tricks. In the first line of Muhammad Ali, Johnny smiled like always. Everyone is calling your fight with George Foreman the Rumble in the Jungle. What do you think about facing a man who is younger, stronger, and has beaten every other person he's fought? Ali leaned back in his chair and smiled. He was sure of himself. Johnny, I'm so sure I'll win that I've already written a song about it. Do you want to hear it? Yes, Johnny answered, getting ready for what he thought would be typical Ali entertainment. Ali then made one of his famous rhymed forecasts, which the crowd loved. Everything went as planned for the first 10 minutes. Ali had charm, was funny, and utterly sure of themselves. Johnny was the perfect straight man. He set up Ali's jokes and kept the party going. Then something changed. Johnny asked a question that seemed harmless because he wanted to get a little deeper than the normal sales talk. Muhammad, you're going to fight in Africa. Why is it important for you as a black American to fight in Africa? It was meant to be a simple question that would make it easy for Ali to talk about how important the place was. Ali didn't answer with his normal bravado, though. He became quiet. He lost his smile and just sat there thinking for a moment. The studio crowd, which was used to Ali's constant energy, stopped moving. Because Johnny knew something was going to happen, he waited. Johnny Ali finally spoke in a voice that wasn't the showy one he had been using. May I tell you the truth? The answer was, of course, and Johnny leaned forward. Ali just said, I'm scared. People in the crowd whispered in surprise. Muhammad Ali, who called himself the best and had never shown fear or doubt in public, just said on national TV that he was scared. Ali quickly made it clear, I'm not scared of George Foreman. I'm not scared of any of the men in the ring. But I'm scared about what's going on in this country. I'm scared of what my kids will have to deal with. I'm afraid that all the fighting I do for my people, not just in the ring, might not be enough. Johnny's face showed that he was really surprised. A lot of people were used to seeing a different Muhammad Ali. Nothing had been changed or added to this. What do you mean? Johnny asked in a soft way. Ali took a deep breath and spoke in a way that no one expected. Tony, when I go to Africa to fight, I'll be going to a place where black people run the government, own the businesses, and make the choices. Have you thought about how rare that is for someone like me? His words kept going faster now that he was in America. Hello, my name is Muhammad Ali, and I'm the world heavyweight king. It's money, fame, and attention for me. But what do you know? Some places in some parts of the country are still off limits to me. People still call me names. Because I won't go to Vietnam, my kids still have to listen to mean things said about their dad. The crowd in the studio was now completely quiet. It was no longer fun to do this. This was real. What Johnny Carson did next showed why he was known as one of the best interviews on TV. Instead of trying to make things better, he didn't try to make a joke or bring the subject back to something safer. Instead, he just said, "Tell me more." Those 3 words set off a flood. Muhammad Ali was more open and honest than he had ever been in public about his problems with racism, his decision to become a Muslim, his opposition to the Vietnam War, and his hopes for the future. He talked about being Cassius Clay, the young fighter who won gold at the Olympics but was turned away from a restaurant in Louisville when he got back home. He talked about the time he was so mad that he threw his Olympic gold ring into the Ohio River. Some people want to know why I changed my name. Ali said they want to know why Cassius Clay wasn't good enough. Clay owned by Cash, though, was a slave. This is Johnny. That was the name of the white man who owned my family. I go by the name Muhammad Ali. That's who I choose to be, not what other people think I should be. In his speech, he talked about how he refused to fight in the Vietnam War, which cost him his boxing license and the heavyweight title at the height of his career. They told me to kill people in Vietnam with whom I had nothing to do. Ali told me. Their plan was for me to fight for freedom in another country, even though I wasn't free in my own. I lost everything I had worked for because I said no. He got emotional in his words. John, do you know what? It wasn't a bad choice because there are more important things in life than fighting. There are things that are more important than being well-known, wealthy, or popular. You have to fight for some things no matter what. The studio crowd had come for fun, but what they were seeing was very important. There were many tears. Some people were agreeing by nodding. Others looked uneasy because they were hearing things they had never heard told so directly on TV. To his credit, Johnny never spoke up. He asked questions to help Ali understand, showed genuine attention, and let Ali say what he really thought without trying to control or downplay what he said. Sayings of, "I think a lot of people watching don't understand the choices you've made," Johnny said at one point. "They think you are controversial, even unpleasant. What would you tell them?" Ali faced the camera straight on. "I never set out to be liked by everyone. I wanted to stay true to myself and what I believe. My goal was to show black kids that they don't have to believe what other people say about them. They have the freedom to be anything they want." After a short pause, he continued with passion. "I'm going to Africa to fight George Foreman, but it's not the real fight. Here in the U.S., the real fight is to make this country should do what it says it will do. The real fight is to show people that the greatest person can still look like me, think the same things I do, and stand for the same things I do." Ali seemed to understand that he had said more than he meant to after this long, heated conversation. He turned to Johnny and said, "Man, I came here to bring up a fight, but now I'm getting serious. People who are watching you probably want to switch channels." Johnny shook his head, though. "Since a long time, this is the most important conversation I've had. This shows that you're real, honest, and more than just a fighter. This is the way TV should be." People in the crowd cheered, not the excited. They cheered for Ali when he first showed up, but this time they did something deeper and more polite. They weren't cheering for the best, but for the person behind the mask. Ali clearly felt touched by the answer and wiped his eyes. "You really made me feel things, Johnny. This was not meant to happen." Johnny answered that the best moments don't always happen as planned. They do it. In the last few minutes of the interview, Ali went back to being the showman that he always is. He made predictions about the Foreman fight and kept the crowd laughing with his wit. But something very important had changed. Now everyone who was watching knew that behind the confidence and behind the poems and declarations of greatness was a man who was facing battles that were much bigger than a boxing ring. Johnny stood up and shook Ali's hand as the conversation ended. "Muhammad, thanks for telling us the truth tonight. I believe you taught us all something important." "What is that?" Ali asked. Johnny said that being the best isn't just about winning fights. It's about being brave enough to stand up for what you believe in, even if it means losing everything. Ali clearly felt sad as he nodded. "John, thanks for letting me be myself." Not all of them do. People responded right away to the talk in a variety of ways. Some fans called NBC to say they didn't like how Johnny let Ali make the show political. They did not want to talk about race or protest. They wanted to have fun, but a lot of people called to thank Johnny for making the race talk on TV one of the most honest they had ever seen. A lot of letters came in from black fans saying that they had never heard their stories told so clearly on mainstream TV. People who were white wrote that the shows opened their eyes to POI,